Welcome back to yet another Welcome Back Comics. What did we buy at a convention? I mentioned in our last video that I wasn't sure what coronavirus was going to mean for both us attending and even the existence of these smaller shows that are being allowed to happen right now. But there was one more in Annandale this morning, and I was able to get to it. And I will say that there was a better attendance of dealers. And there seemed to be a decent number of customers coming in as I was leaving. So I think that's a hopeful sign, assuming that everybody is able to stay safe and that the masks that everybody was wearing was keeping everyone safe. I will say that while there were a lot of dealers there, I didn't buy too many exciting things. I bought a bunch of stuff. And I will say I didn't spend more than $1 per comic, and I'm going to just quickly run through what I bought for you. But don't expect any major keys, although there are a couple nice $5 books, maybe a couple tens in there for 50 cents to $1. And definitely some exciting stuff in terms of just books that have a little bit of momentum, or we think will have momentum sometime soon. I will say the first thing is that you're not going to see some books I bought just for myself. I always enjoy going to the smaller local shows because there are lots of dollar books of recent stuff that's come out. So I was able to pick up a few of the things that I'm reading from Marvel and DC that I'm not committed to spending full cover price on. But I've already started reading those, so those are already upstairs. And as usual, we did a lot of stuff that completes sets. So I'm going to show you just real quickly, whip through a bunch of stuff ranging from some Avengers versus X-Men for 50 cents or so each. Some older sets, going to be finishing up a Nightfall run with these two, which was exciting to find. House of M, going to have a JSA set finished with this number 19, which is really exciting. Still working on some New 52 sets, although obviously, you know, the further we get away from that, the less people care about it. Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe, we would make this set every time we can because people love it. Same to be said for the McFarlane run of Spider-Man, so it's always great to find these at 50 cents a piece. And going back to that 90s feel of Nightfall, we are finishing off a Funeral with a Friend set with the Superman Man of Steel books as well as Justice League number 70. Found one guy with a decent dollar selection of some stuff that is not as usual to see these days in dollars. So got a few of the Lemire Thanoses to get us closer to finishing that set. As well as, and I'll get to these in a minute, or some more of these, a bunch of the Jane Foster Thor and Mighty Thor series. So we're going to finish both the Thor and Mighty Thor sets with those, which is super exciting, especially with that movie still kind of on the horizon. And I will say this a couple times during the video. Again, remember, let us know if there's anything you see here that you want. We're happy to work out deals and ship. And we are also always buying comics. So if you do have collections that you're interested in selling, please do hit us up at welcomebackcomics@gmail.com. X-Men 2099, always a fan favorite to finish that set off as well. Did manage for 50 cents a piece. Bought the complete run of New Gods from, I don't know, sometime in the, looks like late 90s. Excited about this. There is still, you know, supposedly a New Gods movie in the works. So, you know, for a total of, I guess it was $750 to pick up the full run of that is great. And, you know, we can sit on it and sell it as a set when it comes out. A couple other things I bought from the guy who had dollar stuff. Unstoppable Wasp. I will just say this right now. This is for me, like, I love this series, and I would recommend it all day to younger readers, especially young girls. This is fantastic, age-appropriate material, and has really, really positive female characters in it. So I pick this up when I see it for cheap, just to have it on hand when we're at shows and young kids come up looking for something to read, or their parents do. Moving into some of just a couple other set-related stuff, starting out, you know, kind of finishing up some Batman Curse of the White Knight. And again, for 50 cents a piece, picked up almost the entire run of the earlier New Gods miniseries, series that went from 1 to 28. So got the first and last issue in there, missing about 2 or 3 issues in the set. But again, 50 cents each. Can't go wrong with this, especially with a movie hopefully still coming up at some point. And added, hopefully, that DC doesn't tank it like they've tanked most of their movie franchises. Last couple things, again, at 50 cents each, Andy Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm going to pick up. This book is just incredible. The character, I should say, is incredibly hot right now. And, you know, even if we sell this for $2 at a show, you know, I'm happy to get it in people's hands and happy to find it for 50 cents. I mentioned earlier that we found a few of the Jane Foster Thors to finish off our run of it that we needed, but there was also a bunch, basically everything except for the #1 issue in both the original Thor and then her Mighty Thor series. So again, these are super exciting. You don't see these, especially at $1 a piece, all that often anymore. Again, I'm not going to go through each issue, but essentially this is the entire run of the Jane Foster Thor series, minus the #1s and minus the books that we pulled out for ourselves to finish off some sets. So with that movie coming up soonish, we're excited to be able to have those books on hand for people at shows when they're looking for this character. Last but not least is a handful of stuff that we'll probably throw in a $5 box. Again, nothing earth-shattering here, no major keys, but again, for anywhere from 50 cents to $1, happy to pick these up. Got a cool variant copy of Mighty Thor 23 with a Clash London Calling homage cover. It's got a little bit of scuff marks down the side, but still pretty cool. And again, these are probably in our $5 section. And as you know, if you've seen us at shows, often our $5 section has some sort of buy a bunch, get it for less, which knocks them down to anywhere from like $3 or $4 a piece, sometimes even down as many as buy one, get one free. So, if people don't pick it up for the full $5, eventually they'll be able to find it cheaper. Just for funsies, Captain Marvel #1, nothing that screams out about this character, but thought it was a fun book to pick up for 50 cents. Same thing with the couple of the lead-in Catwoman issues lead into the end of the series. So the last couple of issues, I believe 94 was the final one, but this one allows you to get to close to the end. And again, it was low print runs at that point, so anytime those books were 50 cents. Same thing with an Invincible #1, Image First. We will tell you we are in the process of getting the Invincible #1 that we picked up at an antique store for $1 cleaned and pressed right now. We'll have more to tell you in that in a future video. And if you haven't seen the video where I talked about it, I did sort of a impromptu stop in Baltimore on my way home from a show up in New Jersey, and was able to pop into an antique store on a lark and found an Invincible #1 along with a bunch of other early Invincible books. So again, happy about that, especially the Invincible series coming out. And for 50 cents, getting the #1, even the Image First version is worth it. Same thing with the JSA 81 with the Stargirl cover. Cool Stargirl cover. She's got a lot of heat as a character right now because of the show. And so for 50 cents, worth picking that up. JSA Secret Files #2. So not the first Atom Smasher, but still, a couple minor appearances. I think Roulette makes her first appearance here. So again, throw it in a $5 section. Happy to pick it up for 50 cents. Same thing, this book for a minute. New Avengers 40. I forget what the character's name is, but the Skrull Queen, I guess, makes her first appearance here. Some people thought that was going to heat up a little bit. I think it's kind of taken a turn, but for $5 probably would sell. And lastly, a character everybody sort of likes to see is Zatanna in this special. So again, nothing magical. Get it? Magical. Zatanna. Nothing. Okay. Anyway, nothing magical about this book, but for 50 cents, it's good, sort of $2 to $5 fare. So that's what we picked up today in Virginia, and happy to share it with you, and happy that shows are still happening, and that it seems like people are being safe and starting to come back out, but doing it with masks on, social distancing. Dealers were given a little space between boxes. Happy to see that happen, and I think for the time being, that's going to be the future of our industry. And again, last but not least, if you see anything you liked here that you need to get in your hands, let us know, and we're happy to get it to you. And if you have collections you're selling, we are always happy to buy. Hit us up at welcomebackcomics@gmail.com. Thanks.